Our congregation is a tiny little congregation which began in a much wider context, that of the whole Marist family. In the beginning, our foundress was trying to discern where God was calling her. She had refused a number of invitations to begin this order or that and to join others, and then she received a letter one autumn day in 1817, and that changed everything. It was from a Father Pierre Collin. He happened to be the brother of Jean-Claude Collin. Pierre knew our foundress, Jeanne-Marie Chavoine, and her friend Marie Jotillon, who together were searching. Whatever he said in that letter drew our foundress to go immediately to meet with the two brothers, both priests at this time, and to hear what they had to say. Again, we don't know what they said at that meeting, but we know the results. She came back to her little village, she got her friend Marie, and the two of them left their home. And at that moment, in their minds, they believed they were leaving home to begin the Society of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It was 6 years later, though, that officially they were given permission to set up a community. Of course, it means a great deal to us, because even though our sisters weren't present at that first pledge of Vivienne, in the minds of those 12 young men, there was the sense of beginning something bigger than just a male congregation. They saw a tree with many branches, men, women, those consecrated through vows, and lay people. So we believe that we were right there in the beginning, in their minds and hearts. I think the challenge today is really to make the space for the Holy Spirit to speak within and among our younger members. The Spirit needs to come alive in them with the answers for the future. It's not for people like myself. I need to step back now and be a little bit like perhaps Mary was with John, you know, in that latter part of her life. She wouldn't have got in the way. I think she would have encouraged him. And that's what I think we need to do too. I read a quote just yesterday which said, "Hope is the ability to hear the music of the future, and faith is the courage to dance to it today." I believe that's what we need to allow. Well, you know, it's always a difficult thing to describe this Marist charism. It's rather broad, but there is something that I think is a little specific to our branch. We are one of the two feminine branches, of course, and something that the companion of our foundress said, I think gives us a little insight here. Marie was in the latter stages of her life. She thought she was dying. She spoke to the community gathered around, and she spoke about Jeanne-Marie, our foundress. She said of her, "It is she who has brought me forth to the life of grace." And I believe that that actually gives an insight into what our life and mission is all about. Bringing forth others to the life of grace and being brought forth ourselves. I mean to the fullness of life, to the richest way to live life, to the depth of what it's all about. A life in relationship with God, with others, and with our earth. We have sisters who quietly bring forth that life in others, in prisons, with refugees, in parishes, with grieving people, celebrating with people. It's more like the village life that our foundress was living, wherever we happen to be, I think we just share the life of the people and be what they need us to be at the time.